Buenos dias. This is Kaipacha with the weekly Pele report, and this one is for November 23rd, Wednesday, November 23rd. Hallelujah. I mean, we are still in the very end of, the moon is in her balsamic ending, closing phase of letting go. So let it go, baby. By this afternoon, my time, we are going to have a new moon. Ow! She goes into Sagittarius, and we have a new moon at 1 degree, 38 minutes of Sag. Sun, moon, and Mercury and Venus not far away. So they're going to be moving along, and I'd say the big thing I want to be talking about today is that Mercury and Venus are both coming into a trine with Chiron and an inconjunct with Uranus, all in the same week. So that's something that I want to be talking about. And of course, the other aspects that are happening is that Mars is retrograding back into a trine with Saturn. Yeah. And Mercury is going to come into an opposition to Mars, sextiling Saturn. That's really not until next Tuesday, but still, I think, we'll be feeling that approaching a little bit. And I'll get into next week's aspects next week, but yeah, that's going to be carrying on for a little while. Moon moves up there into Capricorn on Friday, comes around and, conjuncts with Pluto on Sunday, and then heads on through Aquarius. So, this is the new moon phase. She's a slight sliver right after that new moon, starting out anew. That's what the mantra is about today. And she'll be moving, into the first quarter square. That first quarter square is really not until next week. So let me find a place, sit down here, and talk about it. All right, everybody, in true Sagittarius style, let's just knock this baby out. If you've been listening to these reports, you already know that I really feel like this 0 degrees of Sagittarius, the first few degrees of Sagittarius, is the phoenix rising from the ashes. So we've been through a month of the underworld, we've been through a month of hell, particularly this last month with these eclipses that have blown up and stirred up and exploded our volcanoes, and we're in the midst of very deep emotions, needs, feelings, fears, relationship issues, paramount, financial issues, sexual issues. I mean, just it's been one issue after another. Oh my goodness, it's really something. I was doing a Zoom call for my school on Sunday, and we're going through the houses. I'm looking over Dane Rudyard, and he goes, "Planets are problems. Planets are a foci of consciousness." I've always said that a planet is a psycho-spiritual function of the soul, and wherever your planets are placed, that's where your consciousness is evolving. And so what does that mean? Problems. Self-discovery comes through, bumping up against the envelope, bumping up against our limits, bumping up against what we can control and what we can't control, bumping up against, just where, our edge, the leading edge. So this evolutionary journey that we are all on, we've incarnated, with evolutionary intentions, and that has to do, with expansion of consciousness. So Sagittarius is really big. Jupiter is really big. It's the biggest planets. It can hold 1,000 Earths, can fit inside of Jupiter. the ruler of Sagittarius, right? So, this coming out of Scorpio, yes, there are forces beyond our control. We are not always in charge. Our egos are limited. Our knowledge is limited. Our bank account is limited. Our energy is limited. The number of hours in a day are limited. So we in Scorpio, we bump up against. Our lives are limited. Death. Other people's money. Other people's values. Other people's, sexual, emotional needs. Psychological, warfare and games and conflict. I mean, it's just like, whoa. And this is all about finding our limits. And then everything moves into Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is a mutable sign. We have a mutable cross. And this is what we're going to be dealing with all month. Sagittarius opposite Mars and Gemini, squaring Neptune and Jupiter in Pisces. The only thing is there's nothing over here in Virgo. So we've got this mutable T-square going on this month with an empty Virgo. We need to be Virgo. We need to finish out that diamond. Yeah? So we need discernment. We need discrimination. We need to ground. It's the earth. Sag is fire, Gemini air, Pisces ether. So we have this, energy that is mutable, changing. I forgot to mention Jupiter is stationing direct today as I speak. So it's gone retrograde back from Aries, back into Pisces. It's as close as it's going to get to Neptune. And now it's going direct and it's going to start moving away again. So we're going to start seeing what? Our beliefs turn into realities. Yeah? The power. If you connect your beliefs with your Plutonian, lunar, emotional energy from the root, and you connect these two, boom. This is the power of belief. I'm going to come back to that when I come to the mantra. But I just want to talk a little bit about these mutable signs because, cardinal, we have cardinal, fixed, and mutable, right? Cardinal, Brahma, is externalization, creation from the outside, from the inside out. Fixed, Vishnu, maintain, sustain, build up this inner world. Mutable, adapt, adjust, get a new philosophy, get more information, meditate, get downloads, so, there is all this mutate. This is a month of mutating ourselves. And we mutate ourselves through, right? We hit our limit. Well, now we go beyond our limits, right? We have to expand into the unknown. This week's song is Rocket Man. You need to take off, baby. Go on the quest into the unknown realms. So Sagittarius, long distance journeys, travel, higher education, university, intuition, right brain. And so what do we have now? Mercury coming into oppose Mars in Gemini, left brain. Mainstream media, graphs, data, analysis, misinformation and disinformation and that information and blah, 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 blah. And it's retrograde Mars. So this is where we want to not be distracted by too much of this linear, logical, social media, Google, whatever, internet, blah, 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 blah. But really reach for the highest realms. Yeah? The difference between knowledge and wisdom. So you can have a lot of Gemini knowledge. Gemini is the student, but what changes the student into the teacher is wisdom. And wisdom is having that higher objective perspective of the overall situation. So this travel, airports, airplanes, religion and philosophy, this is all about looking at the bigger picture. Yeah? So this is where we want to be going now. It's not about information. If we want truth, Sagittarius is the seeker of truth, the Holy Grail, right? The meaning of life, the purpose. What is the point of me having to break up, or me wanting to get married, or me having a baby, or me having a miscarriage, or me having, all these things that have just been really stirred up. Now is the time to look at that, take a step back, take a step out. So Sagittarius wants freedom. Sagittarius needs space. It's the country, it's the mountains, it's the nature, sailing the high seas. And so let me read the Sabian symbol for this degree of the new moon. White-capped waves display the power of wind over sea. The mobilization of unconscious energies under the pressure of super personal powers. This isn't Aries. This isn't Leo. Personal, subjective, instinctive, me, I, me, my. This is the beginning. Sagittarius is transpersonal consciousness. Super personal consciousness. So Scorpio in this, is the underworld of unconscious emotional forces that are now being transmuted into the fire, the Thunderbird, right? Into understanding the super personal powers at work in our daily, earthly, worldly, third dimensional reality. Ow! Got that, baby? Wind and sea, air and water, are in constant interplay. And the results of that interplay are inspiring and beautiful. In symbolism, the wind, pneuma, is the early Greek word for spirit, is associated with spiritual dynamism, the stirring of deep energies. This dynamism produces, obeys cosmic or super-personal rhythms, the power of which is irresistible. The waves, the constant waves. If you ever sail or you're out in a boat, I love sleeping in the hull of a sailboat. Oh my God, right? You are rocked to sleep, provided it's not a storm. And you can feel the ocean, and like your astral body goes through the hull of the boat, out through the ocean, and goes around the whole world. Envious of sailors, baby. Anyway, the picture presented speaks of, and this is all in capital letters, the subtilization through rhythmic intensity. So this is, right? I posted a long time ago that the meditation that I'm doing every day now is the Chata Chata Karate. Yeah. And it is for lifting the spirits. And I posted it on YouTube quite some time ago. But it's a very powerful meditation that really looks at the spirit in all four directions as not only merciful, but enjoyable. Yeah, Jupiter is this expansionary realm that really sees this bigger picture and realizes, particularly with this Jupiter-Neptune in Pisces, the sign of bliss, blissful states of union, yeah? Like really coming into peace, serenity, the calm within the storm. Yeah? Not just the eye of the hurricane. This is coming into, kind of moving upside, outside, beyond the storm. Into the causes of the storm, the purpose of the storm, the evolutionary intentions of the storm. Planet Earth is going through a storm. Whether it's FTX and Bitcoin or CBDCs or vaccine passports or however you want to, look at all of the totalitarian movement that's going on right now. This is all, where you can get swept into this vortex of Mars, moving through, retrograding through Gemini. And you can get, into a place of, loss and bewilderment and despair or depression through this Jupiter, Neptune, and Pisces, where I've got no control, I've got no say, I can't help it, I'm a victim, I'm a martyr, everything's just going to happen and it's just going to go downhill. And you can slide down the rabbit hole. So what this is about is courage. That's what the mantra this week is about, is this place of courage, the quest. We seek the grail. We leave the comfort of home. We leave the comfort of the known, of our knowledge base, of our supporting relationships, of our social position and influence, of our money and security. And we strike out. and for the let me read the mantra because I want to talk about it a little bit, right? It is, I have the courage necessary to set off into the unknown, humbly believing that as I am seeking, the truth to me shall be shown. Humility is important. The Pisces-Virgo axis is humility. Yeah? And Virgo in particular is service. And we know that Sagittarius-Gemini, it's called the thought, I call it the thought axis, left brain, right brain, okay? A lot of times there's a bunch of ego in Gemini Sagittarius. They get very righteous. They get very, know-it-all. They get very opinionated. It's kind of like, oh, yeah. I know that. I got that. I've seen that. I read that. Blah, blah, blah. And here's what I think, and here's what I know, and here's what I'm telling you is the more people that believe what I believe, the more right I am. So I'm going to convince you, to follow me and blah, 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 blah. This gets into, kind of a spiritual or mental, arrogance. Yeah. And we need to be real careful of this, of really thinking that we know more than we know. Jupiter, Neptune in Pisces show us that there's way more than we could ever possibly grasp with our mind. We need to go out of our minds. And Pisces is unity and love consciousness, spiritual love, divine love. The truth cannot be spoken love. This is very humbling. So it's important to, as we seek, it's not like we're going to storm the gates of heaven and demand to be told the truth and instructed and shown and, have the guru enlighten us or whatever. No, 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 no. This is not a willful action. This is mutable. This is humbly opening ourselves that the truth may be revealed. Yeah? So, the other word that I really look at there, and I have a little bit of problem with this word believing, because I like to think that, it's not believing, it's knowing that if I seek, it will be shown unto me. I would like to say knowing, but I can't say no twice in the same mantra. If I've got courage to go into the unknown, and then I humbly know, that's using no twice. And to me, it's a little bit of a no-no. Oh my God. Anyway, baby. So this word believing. But that's very funny because actually Sagittarius, Jupiter, and also Pisces has to do with this believing and having faith. Belief and faith are something that cannot be given to you. Right? It has to come from this place of humbleness and this place of really longing and seeking and asking, praying or contemplating, meditating, receiving. It's like opening the container that I may be filled with wisdom, that I may be shown the truth. Yeah? So it's not demanding the truth and just the facts, ma'am, and, I deserve it. No, no, no. This is more about, whoa, may I gracefully be open enough to understand what is really beyond my capacity as an ego human being to comprehend. So it is about believing. And believing is also, I think, it's got this feeling element to it. I was almost going to say humbly feeling that, as I'm seeking. Because there is this, believing is not just a mental thing. There is this open kind of innocent, this is the beautiful Jupiter, Neptune in Pisces, this innocent, like, hey, show me the way. I'm new to this invisible spiritual world full of forces and powers and dynamics that are like, way mysterious. So, I'm an initiate, okay? I am a humble student of the divine. So, like, we got to take ourselves a notch down. It's so funny because Scorpio is about power and mastery, and no sooner do you get some power and mastery than guess what? Whoop! Time to get humbled again in order to understand the bigger picture. Yeah? So it's kind of just a thing of, this energy, of needing to have the feeling nature involved with all of this. Yeah? So, I have the courage necessary to set off into the unknown, the new moon phase, the first quarter, from new to first quarter, instinctively, okay, just I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going. I'm trusting that I'm guided, and my instinct and synchronicity is gonna, it's just, it's all gonna happen. So trusting that instinct, trusting that self, setting off into the unknown. Ow! Yeah, baby. You feel it? I hope so. Humbly believing that as I'm seeking, the truth to me shall be shown. May the truth be shown unto you, baby. Ow! Namaste. Aloha. So much love. Ain't that the truth?